Hey, this is Catherine Ann.
And this is Joe.
You should see our inbox. Conservative listeners unfollow because we're, quote, bashing President Trump, while liberal listeners accuse us of, quote, sane-washing Trump in the exact same story. We believe the only lasting solution to this pervasive and growing division and distrust is Jesus. If you're not in a season where you can pay, please ignore this. Everything we do is and always will be free. But if you have extra couch change, consider becoming one of our Choose to Pay members and supporting our staff and mission by paying $49 a year. That's less than $1 a week. You can find the link in the show notes. Thank you so much. Today, we're talking about the UK banning tobacco for people born after 2008, Naval Secretary John Phelan stepping down and naval activity in the Strait of Hormuz, a circuit court judge blocking Virginia Democrats' redistricting efforts, and other top news for Friday, April 24th. Stay informed while remaining focused on Christ with the pour-over.
Here's your quote of the day. He said, "Love as I have loved you. We cannot love too much." Amy Carmichael. Let's get started with some espresso shots.
The UK is looking to raise up the world's first smoke-free generation. The House of Lords passed the Tobacco and Vapes Bill Tuesday. Royal approval is expected within days. Starting January 1st, 2027, the UK's legal smoking age will rise by 1 year every year, meaning anyone born after 2008 will never be able to buy tobacco legally. Sellers will face penalties. Proposed by then Prime Minister Rishi Sunak in 2023, the bill also lets the government regulate vape flavors and bans vaping near playgrounds, schools, and hospitals. The UK's health secretary said the law will save lives, ease pressure on the NHS, and build a healthier Britain. Smoking costs the National Health Service roughly £3 billion per year. That's about $3.8 billion US. Critics argue it creates, quote, two tiers of adults and overrides personal freedoms. Here's a verse to consider when evaluating how to honor God with your habits. Everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. Everything is permissible, but not everything builds up. So whether you eat or drink, or whatever you do everything for the glory of God. 1 Corinthians 10, verse 23 and 31.
The U.S. Navy is shaking things up at home and at sea. The Pentagon announced Wednesday that Naval Secretary John Phelan is, quote, departing effective immediately, and Undersecretary Hung Kao is taking over temporarily. The department didn't provide a reason for Phelan's abrupt departure, the latest of several top military leaders to leave. The move comes as naval activity abroad is testing the renewed U.S.-Iran ceasefire. Iranian forces seized 2 container ships near the Strait of Hormuz Wednesday, claiming they were operating, quote, without permits. President Trump says the U.S. has, quote, total control over the passage and has ordered the Navy to, quote, shoot and kill any boat putting mines in the strait as it continues sweeping. Meanwhile, in the Indian Ocean, U.S. forces have taken at least 2 tankers believed to be carrying Iranian oil. Christians should be committed to praying for world leaders to be wise and to work towards peaceful resolutions, while simultaneously placing our hope in God, not government. 1 Timothy 2, verses 1 through 2 says, "First of all, then, I urge that petitions, prayers, intercessions, and thanksgivings be made for everyone, for kings and all those who are in authority, so that we may lead a tranquil and quiet life in all godliness and dignity."
In the latest round of the nation's redistricting battle, a state judge blocked Virginia Democrats' redistricting efforts 24 hours after voter approval. Tuesday, Virginians passed a constitutional amendment allowing lawmakers to redraw the congressional map. taking Dems in the Old Dominion from a 6-5 edge to potentially a 10-1 edge ahead of midterms. The Republican National Committee immediately sued, prompting a state circuit court judge to rule the referendum unconstitutional on Wednesday, citing a violated 90-day notice requirement and, quote, flagrantly misleading language. Virginia Attorney General Jay Jones promised to appeal the ruling. Meanwhile, Representative David Scott died at age 80, his office said on Wednesday. Scott was a 12-term lawmaker and the first black chair of the House Agriculture Committee. His vacant seat puts Congress at 218 Republicans and 212 Democrats with 5 vacancies. We shouldn't let lines on a map cause division in our hearts. What believers have in common is much more powerful than our differences, political, social, or geographical. Rejoice in the unity we have in Christ and strive to maintain that in all you do and say. Therefore I, the prisoner in the Lord, urge you to walk worthy of the calling you have received, with all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love, making every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit, just as you were called to one hope at your calling. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is above all, and through all, and in all. Ephesians 4, verses 1 through 6.
Hey, it's Zan from The Pour Over. I've been making a purposeful effort to eat more seafood because I know it's packed with nutrients and I feel better when I do. But finding quality seafood where I live is a feat. That's why I started ordering from Wild Alaskan. They deliver 100% wild-caught, never-farmed seafood like coho salmon and Pacific halibut straight to my door. It comes perfectly portioned and frozen right off the boat, locking in taste, texture, and nutrients like omega-3s. So it's both delicious and super easy to prep a quick, nutritious dinner for my family. My first box from Wild Alaskan Company definitely made me realize not all fish is the same. Get seafood you can trust. Go to wildalaskan.com/TPO for $35 off your first box of premium, wild-caught seafood. That's wildalaskan.com/TPO for $35 off your first order.
In other brews, here's a rapid round of updates. With the first pick of the 2026 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders selected, to no one's surprise, Fernando Mendoza. The 2025 Heisman-winning quarterback kicked off this year's roster rodeo in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The second and third rounds begin tonight, and selection ends Saturday when the Broncos, for now, choose this year's Mr. Irrelevant.
The Senate broke the ice. Yesterday, the upper chamber passed a $70 billion, 3.5-year funding plan for ICE and Border Patrol in a 50-48 only GOP-supported vote. The resolution, which used budget reconciliation to sidestep a Democratic filibuster, now heads to the House. If passed, it unlocks the door to reopening DHS, which partially shut down since mid-February over demands for immigration enforcement reforms.
Michael moonwalks into theaters this weekend, 1 year and $10 to $15 million in reshoots later. The long-awaited biopic, starring the King of Pop's nephew, Jafar Jackson, was forced to scrap its original ending focusing on Jackson's child abuse allegations when filmmakers learned that a legal settlement barred accuser depictions. Analysts project a $65 million+ opening weekend despite a 33% Rotten Tomatoes score.
Meta told its employees, "Every click you make, every stroke you take, we'll be watching you." The company announced it's installing software on its employees' computers to track mouse movements and keystrokes and grab the occasional screenshot to train AI. Tracking is only approved for work-related apps and doesn't have an opt-out option. Employees are calling the initiative a surveillance overreach.
Tesla's going all in on the robots. The EV maker beat Wall Street's Q1 earnings expectations Wednesday, reporting $22.4 billion in revenue, up 16% year over year, and announced plans to spend a record $25 billion this year, building out its Optimus humanoid robots and autonomous cybercab. CEO Elon Musk called Optimus, quote, probably the biggest product ever, Tesla's or otherwise, with production starting in late July. Referring to the Q1 earnings expectations, wondering what that has to do with Wall Street? Listen to Jason and I shallow diving into stocks tomorrow on TPO Explains. Subscribe to TPO on YouTube to watch the episode when it drops. That's all the headlines we have for today. Here's some good news to dwell on. The Lord is King, and there will only be one Lord.
As always, thanks for listening, TPO fam. If you're listening on the Apple Podcasts app, give us a 5-star rating and drop a review. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a follow and hit the notification bell to never miss a new episode. We're grateful for your support and hope you have a great weekend. See y'all Monday.
Christian Community Credit Union and Adelphi have come together to bring the best in Christian banking for kingdom impact. With their high-yield harvest bundle, you can earn 4% APY and 5% APY respectively with harvest checking and savings accounts. Plus, every deposit you make helps finance church and ministry growth. Bank with your values with CCCU and Adelphi. Apply for the harvest bundle today at mycccu.com/pourover. Terms and conditions apply. Membership eligibility required. Each account is privately insured up to $250,000. This institution is not federally insured.